there was this one time, about 7 years ago, my partner and I are called to a scene at a local restaurant, and it's for a guy who was eating dinner with his wife, and then all of a sudden he just fell over dead. This guy was like 32, 33 years old. There's no real reason why he should have had that happen to him, but he just fell over dead. Now through the dispatch process, they start teaching how to do compressions to the bystanders. A few months, or that sounded bad. For a few minutes later, the fire department showed up, and they continued the compressions and started breathing for him. And then a few minutes after that, my partner and I show up. And we start assessing the scene. We get a report from the fire department, and they tell us, yeah, he just went down. This is what's going on. So we're drawing up medications. We're starting IVs. We're like, getting the paddles on him, boom, boom, right here, right? You guys have seen that stuff, right? And we get to see what his heart rhythm is. Okay, so without going into a big medical lesson, the heart is supposed to have electricity that goes from the top to the bottom, and we go beep, 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 right? Real nice and easy. That's the way it's supposed to work. The way this guy was going on, it's called a thing called ventricular fibrillation, and it was basically the top part doesn't move, but the bottom does, and it's just shaking like a leaf, right? And it's just like a jello mold, like that. This is my favorite one. I don't know. I came up with a lot of different ways to describe that, and I like that one. So we went with that one twice today. So anyway, so that's what but the thing is that with a heartbeat like that, it doesn't really actually create a beat, and it can't force the blood through the system, so the brain doesn't get oxygen, and the brain just says, all right, I'm out. I'm shutting everything down. So this is the way that guy was. And for all intents and purposes, he's dead. D-E-D, dead. If this was the Middle Ages, the guy would have been chucked into a ravine somewhere because they can't do anything about it. So that's how we are with God, right? Before we come to know him, we're dead in our trespasses and sins. Picture this scene, right? So there's this guy laying there, and his wife screaming, baby, come back, breathe. Fire department's doing what they can. Bystanders are scared. We're doing what we can. But see, that's the way we are with God, right? We don't hear the voice of God screaming to us, come back to me. The things of God don't mean anything to us. We don't hear, we hear a hymn and it's just a song. It's nothing. So we're dead. But what we want to know is, where does that death come from? Well, Romans 5:12 says a little something about that. And it says in Romans 5:12, therefore, just as sin came into the world through one man, and death through sin, and so death spread to all men because all have sinned. See that? It began with disobedience, that sin. See, yeah, okay, it was an apple or a fruit or whatever. That's true, but really the root of the sin was disobedience. God said,